Welcome to episode 41 of Squib Kick Radio. I am your host, as always, Elias Powell, and I'm joined here again with both Harry Burton and Riley Pollock. How are we doing today, gentlemen?
I'm doing really good, Eli. We're less than a week away from our personal draft and just over a week away from the start of the NFL regular season. And we got Labor Day weekend in the CFL this upcoming weekend, so it's a good time to be a football fan here in Canada.
Canada. I'm doing well as well. Also in Canada.
Nice. All right. Well, it is an exciting time for football fans indeed. Many of you have already had your fantasy drafts kick off this week. Some have already concluded. But we've got some news in the NFL that sort of directly correlates with some fantasy drafts, a couple key injuries, and a retirement that I'm sure everyone's already heard about. We've got a pretty big suspension coming out of the CFL, as well as some interesting tryout offers out of the NFL. And then, of course, we're going to do Harry and myself's top 10 fantasy running back and also busts and sleepers. So we got a lot to get to on today's episode. So why don't we just get right into it. Riley, lots of stuff going on in the CFL. Our beloved Riders played, and there's also some good games going on.
Yeah, there was some really good games. We'll start in the Winnipeg and Edmonton game last week as Winnipeg took down the Eskimos 34-28, and that was a battle of the top two teams in the West. The Bombers obviously without their starting quarterback as he is hurt for 4 to 6 weeks in Matt Nichols. Chris Streveler threw for 89 yards, but rushed for 95. So ran for more yards than he threw for. Wasn't the cutest game, but I mean, he got the job done when he needed to. And Willie Jefferson, we know him well in Saskatchewan, had a huge game. He had a couple strip sacks and was just an all-around monster. And but the biggest news out of Winnipeg is that their star running back, the beloved Canadian Andrew Harris, got caught juicing. He's been tested 3 times this year. He got tested 10 days before his positive test and was clean, and then 10 days later he came out and was hit with, it's called D-Bol, I guess is the street name for it. It's basically an anabolic steroid, not really used that much anymore, but he got caught with it. He claims that it was a tainted substance that he was taking that wasn't illegal. But here's my opinion, boys. I think that he got tested the second time, 10 days before his positive test, and was like, all right, I don't think they'll test me again for a while. Let's hop on the juice train to get going for the playoffs. But then they tested him 10 days later, and he got caught. That's what I think. I love Andrew Harris. I think he's really good for the game of football, but I think he just got caught doing some bad things, trying to get in shape again for the playoffs.
Yeah, that's very questionable. Didn't he just become the all-time yards from scrimmage leader for Canadians?
Yes, he did.
So now the question needs to be asked: is there an asterisk beside that record? Because who knows how long this has been going on for?
Well, the thing is that D-Bol's in your system typically for like 4 weeks, and he has been tested pretty regularly. Like, he's easily the most tested on Winnipeg. So I don't know if he's like doing some off-season stuff with it and then being clean for the regular season and then just try to do it again, or like what it's going on. But he has been tested already this year and was clean. So I don't know. I mean, my bigger question, I think steroids don't make you a great football player. I don't care how juiced you are. I mean, you got to be a good running back without steroids to be a good running back. But my big question is, like, he's easily the leading candidate for most outstanding Canadian and probably up there for most outstanding player in general. Like, you got to take him off the ballot now, don't you?
Yeah,
absolutely.
I would say he loses any contention for a yearly award after that test. One thing I'm pretty surprised about is the 2 games from the CFL.
Yeah, that seems short, doesn't it?
For actually using a type of anabolic steroid, it seems pretty light.
Yeah, it seems like in the NFL, like 4 games is the minimum for PED use.
Yeah.
But yeah, he just gets both games against the Durs. He gets the Labor Day game and the Banjo Bowl, and then he's back. So
only games
arguably
that
two
matter.
potential best games of the season for them. You know, those
I mean,
are huge games.
If the Riders win both of those games, they're in first place. And
Hello,
Winnipeg
first
drops into
place.
second. So those are huge games. Absolutely massive games for both teams. I can't remember the last time that Labor Day has meant so much in the standings.
Yeah, it's been a while since Winnipeg has been a worthy adversary, for sure.
Well, and there was that one year, I think it was like 2011 or something, where the Riders were like 1-7, and Winnipeg was 7-1, and the Riders still beat them on Labor Day. So that shows you how the rivalry usually goes September long.
Yeah, well, and the big thing of note for me here is Winnipeg's missing their starting quarterback and their starting running back, the two focal points of their offense.
Yeah, and Strevler has been proven that he's not much of a thrower. Super legs kind of guy, and I think Cameron Judge can shut him down personally.
Yeah,
Agreed.
It'll be a good game that we will all be in attendance for. So I'm actually looking quite forward to that. What do we have out of Ottawa?
Well, the Riders
that was in Saskatchewan, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was.
The Riders absolutely decimated them, 40-18. Dom Davis threw 3 interceptions on his first 3 possessions, and Eli, I think it is finally time for us to fully put the love of Dom Davis to bed.
Yeah,
because he's off, and it looks like Jonathan Jennings might get the start in their next game, and I think that's fair because Jennings looked a lot better than Davis did in that game. The Riders just dismantled them. Cody Fajardo looked unreal as usual. William Powell had 2 rushing touchdowns. Naaman Roosevelt had his first touchdown of the year in what I thought was his best game of the season. The team's clicking right now, 5 in a row, boys.
My boy Fadge is just doing it all.
Yeah, the Riders are firing on all cylinders. Those 3 picks from Dominique Davis at the beginning of the game were bad.
They weren't good interceptions at all.
No, they're just a gross overthrow. Another person jumped the route.
Yeah, and he was looking at the receivers the whole time. He was looking at his target the whole time and got jumped.
Do you think that's a little bit of scripting too heavily to start the game, Riley?
It could be. I mean, that's Joe Paupau's first game as OC, right? So he probably did have, a 12 to 16 play script to start the game. And, the Riders were ready for it. And you got to think, maybe did they have the playbook on Joe Paupau? Maybe he didn't change it up very much from when he was with Ottawa the first time. I don't know. But it seemed like the Riders knew exactly what was coming at them every single play.
Definitely an exciting game if you like a little defensive football.
Yep, for sure. And now, like we mentioned before, Durs Labor Day Classic against the Bombers. Easily the greatest regular season game in the CFL across the entire league. And it's kind of a battle for first place. So we'll see what happens on Sunday at 1 o'clock SAS time.
Let's go Durs.
Do your parents still have seats together? Will you guys be frequenting each other's areas?
We will be side by side in what goes to be a multi-year now Labor Day tradition of me returning to the green and white.
And Harry inevitably getting in trouble by his parents for maybe having a few too many beverages at the Classic. Isn't that right there, Garrison?
I actually have no recollection of any of that ever happening.
That doesn't surprise me in any way.
So let's go Durs.
Yeah, Durs it is. Moving on. Hamilton beat the Lions 13-10. Another snoozer for the Ticats, but they're finding a way to win. They have the best record in the CFL without Jeremiah Masoli. Their QB, Dane Evans, isn't great, but he's getting the job done, and Hamilton's defense has really stepped up since Masoli left. They look unreal, and BC loses a lot of close games, but man, it's got to suck to be a Lion and a Lions fan right now.
I don't even know if there is any Lions fans anymore, Riley.
That's true. I'm pretty sure that my flag football game tonight will get more fans than BC Place does.
Even the owner of BC has given up. The team's for sale, so...
It's been off and on for sale forever, and now the fans just want him to sell it because he just doesn't seem to care anymore.
Fair.
Yeah.
Well, I can't blame him.
To be honest, don't have much to say about that game. I didn't watch it. But
there's not much to say about the game, Eli, to be honest.
It's an overall write-off for BC. We say this literally every week, but
if there's one thing we've learned though, like BC is going absolutely nowhere. The Riders could use another receiver. Let's bring back Duron. Like, come on.
No. Watch Duron play. He gives up on plays. You can tell when he's not getting the ball. I do not want that guy anywhere near the Riders' chemistry right now. He's a garbage player. I just want to have my
jersey back, okay? I just want my jersey back.
You're trying to salvage your jersey.
Yeah.
Even if he came back, you'd still have his jersey and he would leave like the next year. That's what happens when you buy Rider jerseys.
Yeah, I'd rather have Corey Sheets back than Duron Carter, that's for sure.
Well, I can't argue with that, but come on.
To the final game, and maybe the best game of the entire week, the Owls beat the Argos 28-22 in an absolute thriller in Moncton for touchdown Atlantic. It was such a good game. The Alouettes were able to stop the Argos in the end zone on the last play of the game to pick up the win. And just the Alouettes are an exciting team to watch. Their defense plays fast and physical. Vernon Adams Jr. looks unreal. William Stanback returned for Montreal. Overall, I think they're the clear number 2 in the East for sure and should host whoever crosses over from the West. So my question to you boys is, they had a good showing at Touchdown Atlantic, sold the place out. Do you see the 10th team going to the Atlantic region in the next few years?
I hope so.
I would say so. Yeah, I've seen.
There's a lot of talk right now.
Yeah, there's been a lot of hype. I mean, if any, like the CFL needs it. They need to start expanding. I don't know why it hasn't happened already. I mean, they're probably
and 10's just like a nice number.
Yeah, well, and they're getting probably more fans than probably BC and Toronto combined.
It could happen. I mean, they were in a small facility. It was only a 10,000-seat stadium, but they had standing room in the end zones as well. But they're looking to build a new place out in the Atlantic region, and it'd probably be like a 16 to 18,000 person stadium, I'd assume. And that's all you really need for a CFL game in those kind of areas. I mean, I know the Riders get like 33,000 out, but that's a different beast. So if you could get a solid sellout of 18,000 every week, I think that's a win out in the out on the East Coast there.
Yeah, it's a lot more difficult to travel as well in Atlantic Canada,
sure.
Riley. You cannot drive across water.
Nope.
So
no, you can't.
That definitely that plays a factor.
That'd be tough, but hopefully they can get a team going out there sooner rather than later. And that's the CFL news from earlier this week and last week's games.
All right. Well, very well done, Riley, as always. As a little transition, we had a bit of a crossover between the NFL and the CFL with the NFL playing a preseason game in Winnipeg. We chatted about it before. A bit of a mishap in Winnipeg. The field was still, I guess it was missing turf. There's a hole in the end zone where the CFL goalpost is located. Everyone knows that the CFL field goal posts are towards the front of the end zone, where NFL's are at the back. So they had to rearrange that. And then officials came out before game time after it had already been approved, and they shortened the field to 80 yards.
Yeah, it was an embarrassment, personally. I'm glad that the Riders didn't get that game.
Yeah, and no comment out of the Winnipeg camp, which leads me to believe there was a bit of lack of effort. It was approved the day before. Whether the scope of that approval was done really well, no one really knows. That's obviously an issue.
I've also heard that, like, basically the company that was running it, that put it on and brought it to Winnipeg, was basically handed the reins, and they were in charge of getting everything ready. Like, the Bombers basically said, all right, here's the field, you guys do with it what you need to, and give it back to us in okay condition. So I'm not sure that it's on the Bombers or the city of Winnipeg. It might be on the group that brought it to Winnipeg. So yeah, I'm not really sure who should be getting the blame here, but I've heard that the Bombers and the city had nothing to do with it.
It's weird, though, the Bombers denying or refusing to comment on the issue.
That is
Riley.
true. Yeah, I didn't hear that, but at the same time, I haven't heard any comment from them. So
yeah, they were contacted and refused to comment on the matter. It has since blown over. I haven't heard any noise on this in the past 5 days. So I mean,
it was a really good game too, which is shitty that the field was so bad. I mean, Oakland won on a last-second field goal.
A shorter field goal, nonetheless.
Fair enough.
All right.
It was garbage.
Well, we can't not get to this. For those of you who have had your fantasy drafts already, I am sorry, but this just sucks for you. The Indianapolis Colts franchise quarterback Andrew Luck retires at the age of 29. Huge news. I was absolutely shocked. I was out for a beer, and I couldn't even believe I was reading that.
Yeah, Harry, I'll let you run with this one.
Yeah, I went over to a buddy's house, found out the news, and I didn't believe him until I pulled out my phone, and I was like, wow. Andrew Luck, the future first ballot Hall of Famer, is done. I think he made a smart move, though, for himself. Like, football's not an easy game, and he has had nothing but injuries in the past. No one can doubt his pure athletic ability and his football IQ. He is clearly doing what's best for him, and I don't know. I think if there's any loser in this story, it's every fan that was at the Colts game. Fair, they don't know how to handle that type of news, and they may have had a few bevies in between, so that may not have helped. But, just not a good look for Indy during this whole thing.
Yeah, it was ugly to see him being booed like that, and you could just see like the hurt in his eyes as he's walking off the field. Yeah, it was an absolute shocker. I mean, it's one of those where were you moments in the sports world, right? I mean, it's tough. I remember when I was like 6 years old, the Wayne Gretzky retirement conference. That's like, and this is huge. I mean, is there bigger news out of the sports world or a bigger news involving retirement than Andrew Luck in recent memory? I don't know. I mean, Gronk's big news, but quarterbacks are bigger news. I mean, Gronk had been hitting at retirement for a couple off seasons because of his injuries. I didn't see any indication that Andrew Luck was going to retire. And it's crazy to me that he's not going to play football anymore, and now it's Jacoby Brissett's team.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. I couldn't believe it either. And like you said, Harry, tough look for Indy fans. They will now remember that when they found out that their franchise quarterback was retiring, they booed him off the field as opposed to giving him a standing ovation. So that's going to stick with those Indy fans for a while.
It just shows you that players have every right to go for the money. Like, at this point, no matter what you do in your career, if the Indianapolis Colts fans set a precedent for the future, the fans don't give a shit about any player. So go for the money.
Turned on their franchise quarterback.
The only good thing about their franchise, and the little video clip of that one guy taking off his Andrew Luck jersey.
Yeah.
At the game when that happened,
it's
that
embarrassing.
just sums it up. It is. And I don't blame the guy. Like, he had obviously had a few beverages, and that's like the worst news you could hear as a Colts fan. But just across the whole sports world in general, that just sums up how almost the public is ignorant towards the real life that happens with these athletes.
Fans don't treat players like human beings sometimes, you know?
Yeah, and this is just the perfect example of that. Like,
exactly, yeah.
It's sad.
Yeah. Well, when they probably got home, they realized it sinks in what the retirement actually is, and that they are literally never going to see Andrew Luck on a football field again.
Especially for Indy. If he comes out of retirement, there's no way he goes back to Indy.
No.
And if he does, like that,
Like, who knows, Tom Brady retires in a couple years, Bill Belichick rings him up, he's been healthy for a couple seasons, tossing the rock around, hey Andrew, come out of retirement and win 3 Super Bowls and you can get back into the Hall of Fame conversation.
I don't think Andrew's out of the Hall of Fame conversation, if we're going to go there.
Pardon?
I think Andrew's already in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, I don't think they'll put him in.
No, I don't either. He hasn't had a long enough career, and nor a Hall of Fame career. He's been good.
Has he even won a playoff game? I know he got crushed by the Patriots in their best chance of making it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he has or not, actually.
He's just a nice guy. How could you keep him out?
He's the Hall of Fame of nice guys, Harry, you could say.
Yeah, if there was a nice guy Hall of Fame, he'd be in it.
But,
yeah, I don't know. He's got some pretty big connections in the NFL as well. His dad is very well connected to all.
Well,
of
I believe
the
his
NFL
dad
owners.
is the commissioner of the XFL, isn't he?
Yeah, by no coincidence either. That's just a football family, and
Yeah.
I don't know. Imagine if Andrew Luck becomes the next Bill Belichick as a coach, though. Now, out of this,
True.
maybe
Yeah.
that's his true purpose, is not to be the stud athlete quarterback. His football
Or-
IQ is incredible.
Or maybe he's the next star quarterback of the XFL next year.
Riley, that's 2 back-to-back conspiracy theories. You gotta rein yourself in.
Yeah, but
You never
if I
know.
hit
You
one of
never
these,
know.
then I win.
I guess.
You never know. You never know. His dad is the commish.
Yeah. Well, shitty news out of Indy, that's for sure. Moving on, we have, I guess, more unfortunate news. Lamar Miller has a torn ACL. So,
Yeah.
this year's player to be claimed by the preseason season-ending injury. You just hate to see it.
Yep, and you also hate to see that one video of the guy who went Andrew Luck and Lamar Miller back-to-back in a draft.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the news was about 15 minutes apart that both of them were done.
Lols. Lols is
So-
that guy, not the injuries or the retirement, but
Yeah, tough one. But yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
feel for
now
Lamar
they only have Duke Johnson Jr. really as their main running back, and there's been some rumors that the Texans might pick up someone like Jay Ajayi to take that number 1 spot and still have Duke as kind of that 3-down receiving out of the backfield kind of back.
I don't. Duke's got something to prove this year. He asked to leave the Browns because their backfield is crowded AF as it is.
True.
I think he's got something to prove. This is his make it or break it year, and I think he all around is a good running back. He can catch the ball. He can run the ball. I'm not going to compare him to Kamara, but I'm going to compare him to Kamara. He's not quite up to the Kamara standard, excuse me, but he's not far behind. So I think this could be a stud year for him.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think the Texans should at least give him a shot to be their every down back, but you gotta have a contingency plan for sure. It is the NFL.
They already have Alfred Blue, who's been their contingent number 2 for the last 3 or 4 or 5 years. The guy knows the system. He's not great. He'll punch the ball. He'll do whatever he needs to do, but I don't know. I'm thinking pretty highly of Duke Johnson Jr. this year, actually.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, could be interesting. I personally think he's a bona fide change of pace back.
Alfred Blue's with the Jags now, by the way. So
What?
they do not have Alfred Blue.
They do no longer have their contingency plan. So,
well,
yeah, I don't know.
disregard
I
me
think he's a
then,
bona fide
okay.
number 2 guy. But we'll see. So, yeah, unfortunate news for Texans fans.
Yeah, it's ugly.
What
And
else?
me.
What else do we have in the news here, Riley?
Well, we got some kicker news, Eli.
Oh,
U.S. women's national team player Carly Lloyd hit a 55-yard field goal when she was visiting Eagles practice, and now apparently teams have legitimately given her tryout offers and stuff. So, and she's considering taking a few of them. I'm not sure how far this actually goes, if she actually gets a tryout, if she makes a team, whatever. But I mean, 55-yarder is not easy to do, but she did take a 5-step run at it, not in pads.
I actually heard today, Riley, that she was offered a starting position for a preseason game, but it interfered with a Thursday international match for the U.S. women's soccer team. So there's some conflicting schedules there. So
that's tough.
yeah, she could have kicked in the preseason.
Yeah, that'd have been kind of cool. I mean, I don't think she's making a roster. Like I said, she took a 5-step run at a 55-yarder without any pads on. But still, I mean, nonetheless, I could not even hit a 25-yarder from that or with those placed on me. I mean, I couldn't do a 25-yard field goal in soccer shoes with a breeze at my back about 60K. I'd probably still miss it short. So, I mean, 55 yards is 55 yards either way. But I don't think she's going to actually make any team, and it's just a lot of talk.
Yeah,
Yeah,
preseason news.
If Blair Walsh still has a job, I think she has a very good possibility of making the league.
That's a good
I'm
point.
going to say it again. Blair Walsh still has a job.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah, Riley, I can't even kick a 15-yarder. I've tried several times.
I have. I can kick an extra point probably. That's about the distance I can go.
Nice. All right, more, I guess, contract talk. Jadeveon Clowney still hasn't signed. And apparently he's got interest in the Seahawks and Dolphins.
Yeah, apparently he's talked to like some members of the Dolphins staff, and might be a trade in the works or something. I don't know. I mean, Jadeveon Clowney might have played his last down for the Texans, it sounds like, so we'll see what happens there. Not a whole lot of news on it, but yeah, just some rumblings. And, I mean, the Seahawks or the Dolphins could really use him, so we'll see.
Could we see an exchange for Jadeveon, maybe some picks and a Seattle running back?
Well, that's maybe that Chris Carson, something like that. Yeah, maybe.
Chris Carson.
I was meant to ask you guys.
Penny.
I meant to ask you
Penny
guys
first.
I saw this on Twitter today, and I thought it was an interesting question. Do you do Jadeveon Clowney and a first for Zeke? Who says no?
Yeah, I say no, 100%.
Who? Dallas or Houston?
I say no. If Dallas offers that to Houston, Houston better say no. Because Zeke's a head case. How much money does Houston really have to spend? I guarantee you I don't know this for a fact, but I guarantee you they're paying J.J. Watt on the defensive side a max contract. Whenever DeAndre Hopkins is due for a contract, he's getting a max contract.
Yeah. That's the problem. These running backs come out of nowhere and then demand a bunch of money, and then they're gone in 5 seasons because they're injured.
I think in preseason, like early in the year, I think the Houston Texans had like the 4th most available salary cap.
Yeah.
Like, I had them as like someone who could seriously get
They were Le'Veon Bell front runners. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so they could definitely afford him. And I mean, a first round, I don't hate that. I would take that. I would take that for sure. Because you're probably paying Zeke less than you pay Clowney.
I just don't.
True.
I don't love it. Throw Lamar Miller in there. The injured
Lamar Miller is a torn ACL, Harry.
Yeah, throw him in for next year. Do you think Jerry cares about this year? No, he signed face?
And Tony Pollard is about to tear the league up, so because literally any running back can have success in Dallas because their O-line is insane.
Yeah, can't argue with that.
Who was the running back before Zeke? Murray. What did he do after he left Dallas? Nothing, and he was one of the best backs in the league. Zeke's going to leave. He's going to have less success, and it's just an endless cycle of running backs coming to Dallas, thinking they're the best, leaving, realizing it was the O-line.
To be fair to Murray, though, Murray went to the Eagles in Chip Kelly's garbage system.
True.
That didn't work in the NFL. And DeMarco still had some good games here and there. I think he was a good running back. He was just not on the right team after Dallas.
Fair enough.
All right. Well, yeah, interesting. Yeah. I could see that. I could see that deal going down. Maybe even Seattle, a running back from Seattle. But we will see as the season begins.
Yeah. We crushing out my picks here before you guys go?
Yeah, let's do your picks, Riley.
All right, sounds good. Only 3 games this week. I went 3-1 straight up and 3-1 against the spread last week. Now 30-13 straight up and 28-15 against the spread. If you haven't jumped on my train yet, guess you just don't like having a little extra beer money every weekend. So I'm not going to beg you anymore, but if you want some money, follow my picks. This week, Winnipeg is at Saskatchewan, 3 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. No football till Sunday because of the Labor Day weekend this week. I'm taking the Riders minus 5.5. I just don't see Winnipeg's offense doing a whole lot. I think Cameron Judge is going to lock down Chris Streveler's running game, and I think our DBs are good enough to stop him in the passing game. So I'm going to take the Riders minus 5.5, and I think it's going to be like a mid-20s kind of game, mid-20 score here. Not the 52-0 drubbing that we saw the Riders give Winnipeg a few years ago. So yeah, Riders minus 5.5 in that one. Toronto at Hamilton Monday, 1 p.m. Eastern. Early game on a Monday. I'm taking the Argos plus 11. Now, I think Hamilton's a much better team than Toronto, but I just don't see their offense doing a whole lot. They haven't done much since Masoli left on offense. So I do think Hamilton's going to win, but I just don't think their offense has the ability to pull away by 11 points. It'll probably be something like 21-15, 21-16, somewhere in there is what I'm thinking for Hamilton. So I'm going to take the Argos plus 11, but Hamilton to win the game. And the final game of the week on the Labor Day weekend, Edmonton at Calgary at 4:30 Eastern on Monday. I'll take the Stamps minus 3.5. Just like the Riders, the Stamps seem to win the Labor Day game every single year. Haven't heard anything about Bo Levi Mitchell, whether he will be back or not, but either way, I think the Stamps take that one. So only 3 games, but the Labor Day Classic is always a great weekend of football.
That it is,
Can't wait.
and I think you can go 3-0 this week, Riley. I feel it.
Harry, you
I
disagree with
agree.
any of those?
No, I can't disagree with any of those.
Beauty. Thanks, boys. Love the confidence.
Yeah, I might put a little $20 down on your picks, because I would love some extra beer money, Riley. All right.
Yeah, it would be tough.
Harry, let's just jump right into our fantasy running backs. So,
All right.
Why don't
Finally.
you start us out here?
Okay, I think we're going to be pretty similar in the top here, so I'm just going to list off my top 3. Maybe
Okay.
our order will be a little bit different, but I don't know. I just can't see us
I like
having
that.
big of differences.
Yeah.
Number 1, I've got Alvin Kamara. Stud.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to
Wow.
say. That's all I'm going to say. He's a stud. He's on New Orleans, which is one of the best offenses like in the league, let alone their division. Ingram is gone. He is the guy. He's number 1. Saquon, obviously number 2. The thighs, quads, whatever you want to call him, the guy's got him. He's number 2, hands down. And then I'm gonna go maybe this will be a little bit different, but I'm gonna go with my boy DJ David Johnson.
Oh.
With the comeback season. He is going for 1,000 receiving yards this year, all the way.
There's no way Eli has that top 3. 0%.
No, I did not pick the 2 of Harry's 3 fantasy football sleepers in my top 3.
That's crazy.
Yeah, mine's.
I like those, Harry, though, but I gotta have my boy Saquon at number 1 there for sure.
Yeah, I got Saquon number 1.
He's their only guy on offense now. Like literally their only guy.
Yeah, I know. So he's gonna eat.
No,
He's
so
still
it's way
a
easier
running
for
back.
defenses.
He's still getting the ball.
It's way
probably.
easier for defenses to stop him now. Like if he's their number 1, they don't have to put 2 guys on OBJ anymore. They can put that extra guy as a linebacker. Looking for Saquon.
They're not gonna. I still don't think you can stack the box like you could.
You can line up
against
Saquon as
Jacksonville.
a wide receiver. Like,
Yeah.
he can literally play anywhere.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the big running backs over the finesse guys, which is Alvin Kamara. But he showed me enough last year because he got the carries over Mark Ingram. I thought they were going to be a split last year, but Kamara took over that. But I've got Saquon 1, Kamara 2, and this is fantasy football, so I'm going Christian McCaffrey, number 3.
Nice.
Oof.
Yeah. Yeah,
I-
I would honestly... Mine goes Barkley, McCaffrey, Kamara right now. Just because of the touches that McCaffrey gets in the passing game.
I don't know. I think Cam's injured again. He just left last week in a walking boot.
He should be
Yeah, but-
fine for week 1.
Riverboat Ron
Yeah.
said he's like pretty much 1,000% sure Cam will be good to go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but how did Riverboat Ron? What did he say about him last year? Towards the end of the year in playoffs for fantasy football, anyway, in the fantasy football playoffs, Cam Newton was healthy and ready to go. I had him on my roster. I thought he was going to be my boost to a championship, and it turned out he was the biggest hinder on my team from holding me from a championship.
Yeah,
I don't know.
but I think Christian
don't trust
McCaffrey, if you look at an overall level, Harry, like Alvin Kamara is getting touchdowns snaked from him by Taysom Hill. Sorry, you're probably going to miss 4, maybe 5 touchdowns in the red zone this year because of Taysom Hill. whereas Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley are getting that ball. Saquon more than Christian McCaffrey because Cam Newton can still run it, but...
Well, was it CJ who went to Carolina to be
CJ
the number
Anderson.
2? Yeah, so they've been talking about CJ maybe getting more red zone touches this year too, so...
Yeah.
Let's not forget about Greg Olsen either. Big red zone target.
If he can stay healthy.
Yeah, well, if Cam's not healthy, then McCaffrey's not going to be doing much.
Nah, that's true. Yeah, I don't know. That's an interesting top 3, boys.
Who do you have as your 4, Harry?
I got McCaffrey at 4. Because facts are facts, but I don't know. I'm high on DJ this year. I think receiving and rushing, he's going to be, well, there's no way he can go down from last year, but Arizona as a team is getting minusculely better. So, I think it pays off for DJ.
Yeah, I don't know, Harry. It's I guess our rankings are going to be a little bit different. So my 4 is Todd Gurley.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
Todd Gurley did not make my top 10.
What?
Yep.
Jesus. Okay. Well, the one of the number 1 rated offenses last year.
Yep. Highest paid running back in the league.
Yeah, he rushed for 991 yards, had almost 500 receiving yards, had
barely played down the stretch.
12 overall touchdowns. So, I mean, wow. Okay, that's interesting. That sort of points a gun at me, I guess. Yeah, Todd Gurley's my 4. Who's your 5 then, Harry?
5, I have got James Conner. He proved himself last year in Le'Veon's absence, and I don't think he slows down this year.
Yeah.
By any means at all.
Okay. Wow. Okay, ours are really different.
I like it, boys. I knew this was going to be fun.
Yeah. My 5 is Le'Veon Bell.
I like it.
It's a good pick at 5.
He's Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
He's Le'Veon Bell.
I mean,
Le'Veon
he could be RB1. Like,
yeah, he could.
Don't get it twisted. Le'Veon Bell could come back and very well take over his title as RB1.
Unless you have, in the past year of him not playing football, forgot his run style, where he is patient and composed behind the line of scrimmage, and he just dices defenses. And he arguably can do it all as well. He can catch the ball. He can make plays in the open field as a receiver. And you're going to look for a young quarterback to lean on a veteran running back a lot.
I cannot disagree with you there.
Yeah.
I think Connor just proved himself last year. The uncertainty with Le'Veon left me with an uncertain feeling, you could say. So I have Le'Veon Bell at 6, but I have James Conner before him.
Okay. My 6, and I'm going to reassure fantasy owners everywhere here. Ezekiel Elliott is playing football this year. Oof. I'm going to put him up for week 1. I'm going to do it. Put him in my 6th spot. 6th best running back in the draft this year.
Man, if people listen to you and that doesn't happen, you're going to have a lot of pissed off fantasy owners.
Yeah, well, if they don't listen to me and it happens, they're going to be like, well, damn. They're going to pay him. Jerry, they're going to pay him.
Well, they've already offered him a contract just below Todd Gurley's, and he's like, nah, I'm the best.
Yeah, I know. And so then if they trade him, then he's still going to play. I think he's going to play. This is a lot different than, I think, Le'Veon Bell.
Well, yeah, because he has an extra year, right? Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's where I'm at with that. And then in my 7 spot, I have David Johnson.
Wow.
All right.
Yep. You got to look. I mean, he's super dynamic, but Carson Palmer's not throwing him the ball. Obviously, they're going to use him a bit different, and he can still put up the running yards. He's a great running back, but last year he only had 555 receiving yards.
Yeah, I mean, and Kyler Murray likes to run the ball too, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm somewhere in between on on Johnson. Not quite a 2, but I don't think he's as deep as a 7.
It'll be interesting to see how David Johnson can play in a Cliff Kingsbury offense. They're saying this offense in regular season form is going to be snapping the ball every 15 seconds. So you are going to have guys in and out of that formation. Cliff Kingsbury runs a very, very fast offense. So you're not having David Johnson carry the ball for, 12 straight possessions like he would any other day. He's going to be doing 3, and then he's going to be gassed and coming in and out because that offense is just too fast.
No, the guy is a built receiver. I think I agree with the way they're going to be handling that offense, but even if he doesn't get the ball on first or second down, he's going to be out there on third down. He's going to be out there all the time. Just because he's not getting the ball, he's going to be out there. He's going to be an option no matter what. But that's why I put him at 3. At my 7 spot, I had Dalvin Cook, who is coming off injury and looking like a stud in the preseason. Yeah. I think 2 years ago he was a top 5 back if he didn't get injured right away. So I'm looking for a huge comeback season from Dalvin.
All right. That one,
who do you got at 7?
He has had injury issues the past 2 years. Obviously his major one a couple years ago, but he hasn't really been healthy.
He does look good though.
Yeah, I mean, I personally didn't put him on my top 10, so I don't know.
What's your 8?
My 8's James Conner.
Fair.
I mean, I still think he's a top 10 running back. Is he going to slow down a bit? Well, man, he had a fantastic year. Rushed for over just 3 yards over 1,100 yards. So, I don't know. I think there's just some guys that I've got to put in front of him, like Todd Gurley, Le'Veon Bell, Ezekiel Elliott, and I think David Johnson as well.
Fair. That's fair. I'm not buying into the big brand names this year, though. I'm against it. We'll see.
Okay, my 9, I'm putting Leonard Fournette.
Is that wishful thinking?
No, I think it's going to be, you're going to have quite a different look from this Jaguar offense,
Yeah, I mean, Nick Foles makes them look 100% better than Bortles did already.
You're not gonna stack the box against Nick Foles, and if you do, you're gonna lose.
Yeah, he's got a big dick.
Yeah, and because I think they're gonna completely change how this entire offense functions. So he's not gonna be getting punished by like 2 linebackers and 3 D linemen on one play. He's not going to be getting crunched. I think he's going to be a lot healthier. I think this offense is going to be run a lot smarter with just having Nick Foles as an option at quarterback. So I think you can expect, and obviously I am one, but if you're a Leonard Fournette drafter, I think you can have a solid weekly starter. And that was one of his main issues. When the box is stacked, he couldn't run the ball. I mean, there's not many running backs that can do that to begin with. So once this offense opens up, like I think it is going to look for that running game to take over because, I mean, yeah, he's injury prone, but Leonard Fournette's a monster.
Yeah, he's injury
but
prone.
I do like this Jags team a lot more with Nick Foles. I mean, they do have one of the best defenses in the league. The problem was they were just on the field the whole game last year. So I expect this Jags team to be a lot better, but I don't trust Leonard Fournette to stay healthy anymore.
If they're within the 10, who do you think's getting the ball?
You heard it
Hopefully
here first.
D.D. Westbrook.
You heard it here
probably
first.
Fournette.
Fournette is not making it past week 3.
You're not making it past week 3.
Yeah, he's going down. He's injured. Week 3.
All right.
Nice.
How many games do you think he misses this year?
The majority of the fantasy season.
So, like 8?
Yeah, I'd put him at probably 9.
Wow.
He's missing a good 9 games. And
so you are a do not draft of Leonard Fournette.
Yes, I am. I am definitely on the do not draft Leonard Fournette train.
All right. Well, we will see. All right, Harry, who's your 9?
Joe Mixon, my boy.
Yes.
He's a stud. He is an incredible athlete. He can break tackles. He can catch balls. He can do it all. I think not having AJ Green for the first 6 games will definitely hinder his performance throughout those 6 games, but he's a stud. I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do this year. Yeah,
and having the benchmark of mediocrity as his quarterback, as Eli has pointed out many times. Mixon has to do stuff, or this Bengals offense will go nowhere.
Yeah, and I'm pretty high on Joe Mixon as well. I think as a fantasy owner, the only time he's probably going to hurt you is at the end of the season when the Bengals aren't playing for a playoff spot. Yeah. I think that's the only time you're going to get hurt by him, which is a good transition because Joe Mixon is my number 10.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, so that works out.
What's your 10, Harry?
I got Zeke at 10 just because I don't know what the hell's going on with him.
Fair enough.
He obviously is a stud athlete and deserves to be way higher on the list, but just while we're talking today, which is the 27th of August, the uncertainty is just drawing me off. That's the only thing. Otherwise, he's way higher on the list.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, Zeke's 1-2, in my opinion, if he's playing football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a stud.
That's a big if. All right, well, that's solid. We have a little bit of a contrasting list there, Harry.
Yeah, I really liked those lists, boys. Good work.
If you had to pick one, whose do you think is more accurate, Riley?
I think yours is safer, Eli, but Harry definitely has some bold picks. Yeah, he's got some spice on his. Leaving Gurley out of the top 10 is pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty spicy. Because he's not in like a contract dispute, nothing. He's ready to play football. He's just not going to get as many touches as he did last year.
Yeah, he's ready to split carries.
Yeah.
And Kamara at the 1 spot, too, is a little spicy.
Yeah.
For my taste buds.
Yeah. All right.
Like it
well,
hot.
let's get into some sleepers. We did 3, so I mean, not a whole lot here for you guys, but Harry, who's the number 1 sleeper you're targeting?
Number 1 sleeper.
Actually, I don't know. That's phrased.
I don't know if I could group
target.
I don't know if I could group my sleepers or list them. I'll just tell you my 3 sleepers because I don't know which one's gonna be which. But my sleepers: Aaron Jones, Green Bay. He's looking for a great year this year. He's not in the top 10, but he is close. And if he has a good year this year, there's no way he's not in the top 10 next year. Another sleeper I have is Josh Jacobs, rookie for the Raiders. He's gonna have a great year. Doug Martin's already on the IR, which is not surprising. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what the first-round draft pick can do. And then finally, although he is injury-prone, Sony Michel on New England. He's on the best team in the league, and he's a great athlete. I don't think you can pass him up.
Yeah, he definitely showed some flashes last year in between his injuries of a really, really good running back. So we'll see if he can actually do something more this year.
I think this is the year he becomes a household name.
Nice. Yeah,
Eli.
I like all 3 of those for sure.
All
Jacobs,
right.
I'm a little bullish on because he hasn't had he's split reps in Alabama his whole time there, so we'll see. But
well, he's got some guys behind him on the depth chart to take some of that load away when he needs. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and Aaron Jones coming in at the 16th ranked running back. So average ADP of 27.8. So
yeah, so not overly a sleeper, like it's more of a napper.
Yeah, it's like mid nap, but
like,
we'll give you
like power nap before work kind of guy.
We'll give you Josh Jacobs at a RB 18. All right, what do I got here for sleepers? I have Alexander Madison.
Oh,
do you guys even know who this is?
I couldn't even tell you what team he plays for, Eli.
He plays for the Vikings. And
Does he?
the reason you're drafting him is because Dalvin Cook can't really stay healthy. So he was picked up. They aggressively went after him as the replacement for Latavius Murray. So this guy's gonna he's gonna get the ball.
That's fair.
Huh. So, like, you're thinking, like, deep, like, you could probably get him in the last round.
You could probably get him in the last round, Riley Pollock.
I like it.
Yep.
That's a sleeper right there. That's hibernation.
That is, you are giving up picking a kicker to pick this man.
Yeah. Huh. All right, who else?
Who else do I have? I am also going to say Jordan Howard for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Spicy.
Am I picking another Philadelphia running back? Probably not, because everyone who's ever drafted a Philadelphia running back knows that it's a running back by a committee, and a very generous one at that. So, you never know. But Jordan Howard's been a workhorse most of his career. And over the past couple running backs they've had there, I like him over, Jay Ajayi when they had him.
Yeah.
He can go and bang. So I think you can get him fairly late. I'm just taking a quick gander at my handy dandy app to see where he's going. All right. RB 20, I think. So
RB 20, eh?
Yeah. And then my other sleeper is going to be Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, he's not back till week 6, but I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's back, week 8?
So, if you're in a keeper league, grab him.
Yeah, true.
Or even if you want someone for later. Like, if you're in round 13, you're telling me you're not going to draft Kareem Hunt, who is going to play football this year in
I think it's wishful
rounds.
thinking he'll be available in 13.
Yeah.
He's going to be the starter next year.
All right.
100%.
Okay.
He led the NFL in rushing, boys. Come on.
Yeah.
Don't sleep on this guy. Do not sleep on Kareem Hunt. All right. And then we've got our busts. So, Harry, lead us off here.
Bust number 1. The all talked about Todd Gurley.
Oof.
Wow.
He's splitting carries this year. He's had trouble with injuries late in the season last year. McVay has even said they're definitely lightening his load this year. And the reason I put him as a bust is because I think everyone is so high on him that there's no way he can deliver to the expectations that have been set for him this year.
Fair enough.
And that's just about it. Marlon Mack is my number 2 bust. He's really only on here because Andrew Luck just retired, and now he is the only available option on that Colts offense. T.Y. still a stud, but I don't know if I trust Jacoby getting him the ball consistently.
Yeah, T.Y. was good with Andrew Luck, and he was all right with other quarterbacks.
Yeah, exactly. And so I just think that teams can just lock in on Marlon Mack now, and his appeal is gone to me. And then finally, my last bust, Derrick Henry. He had he had 2 good games last year, and I am probably going to just count those games as some of the best games of his career, and I don't see him topping anywhere close to that this year.
I got to agree with you on that one. I think kind of a flash in the pan last year, and there's no way that he lives up to his lofty draft expectations this season.
Yeah, I don't see it.
All right. Well,
Eli, who you got?
Those are solid. In typical Squib Kick Radio fashion, I think my first bust is going to be Kenyon Drake from the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, screw the Dolphins.
I agree.
Yeah, Dolphins are going to suck. I don't know. I'm not buying what they're selling at all. I'm going to touch a dolphin with a 10-foot pole. Next. This one's easy. I can't believe you didn't take this one, Harry. Melvin Gordon, the bust of the year.
Yeah,
do not draft him.
He's still getting picked in like the 2nd and 3rd round in most leagues.
Yeah, he's currently going 34. So,
yeah.
Yikes. Before Mark Ingram.
Yikes is right.
Before Philip Lindsay.
Yeah, don't take him, boys and girls. Do not take Melvin Gordon. Take Austin Eckler. Don't take Melvin Gordon.
Yep. And then I'm going to agree with Harry with Derrick Henry.
Fair, yeah. I
don't think he's going to do super well.
I like all those busts, boys. Those are some running backs that I will certainly stay away from.
Yep. All right. That completes our preseason fantasy football segment. So good job, Harry.
Good work, boys.
You did well. We did it. We made it. Yeah.
We made it. It's finally time to
I'm going to put you both of you on the spot. Whose defense are you targeting this year?
Baltimore.
Okay.
And I will just say this: I do not target defenses when I'm drafting. Defenses are a second thought. I'll pick somebody up who's decent at my last pick, and I will probably just cycle week to week.
Honestly, if that's the play you're going to make, though, I wouldn't sleep on Buffalo's D. They've got a pretty good defense, and no one's really paying attention to them. And if you can get them in the last round of your draft, I don't think it's bad until they blow up for you, and then, you can just cycle.
Yeah,
Yep.
Defense is the most expendable position in my mind, so I honestly, and for all the viewers out there, I would recommend not focusing on a defense.
All right. Nice. Okay, and now we are going to release the winners of our Squib Kick Radio Fantasy Football Draw. These individuals will be competing for a NFL jersey paid for by Squib Kick Radio, and we will be drafting on Wednesday, September 4th at 6 p.m. Central, so Saskatchewan time.
Beauty.
So that will be 5 p.m. for those selected in the Pacific time zone.
Yeah. We have the list, ladies and gentlemen, and we will get in contact with you through Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, however you won. And so if you didn't get contacted, better luck next time.
Yep. And make sure you're watching out for those posts to keep updated on how our fantasy league goes and use it as a reference for your own league, even if you didn't make it. We will also be drafting on Yahoo. So that is
Great
how
app.
that is going to
my
go.
favorite My favorite fantasy football
If you're
app.
not drafting on Yahoo, you're not really drafting. So.
All right.
All right.
Are you saying them? Are we announcing them on the
No,
podcast? Okay.
Check our social media.
We're not going to do it
Find
on
out.
the show because I'm probably going to drop it on Facebook before everyone hears this show anyway.
All right. Well, we are going to do that then. So we're not. Okay, cool. Well, with that, make sure you also check out our Survivor Pool League. We're doing another jersey for that one as well. That's already got a ton of signups. Also,
yeah, we got like 30 some in there right now.
Yeah, I want to give a huge shout out to everyone that actually tried to get into the fantasy league. We had around 35, 40 people, I think, actually try and enter. So that's huge. So better luck next time, I would say. I think winner of the league might even get to stay next year, and then we'll pick all new ones again. But it is going to be good. It's a 16 team PPR league.
Yeah, that's a
full
lot of
point
people.
PPR. So 16's a pretty terrifying number, but it's full point PPR. So there's definitely some room there. So this is going to be an absolute bloodbath.
I can't wait.
Make sure you're checking our social media, keeping updates every week so you can stay on top of your picks. It's been great.
Awesome. All right. And with that, thank you all for listening. As always, we will talk to you next week.
Peace.
Bye.
I got you stuck off the realness. Think not. This shit's too hot. Too hot. Too hot. Rock you in your face. Dab your brain with your nose bone. I'm a vampire walking on the surface of the sun.